Hello and a very warm welcome to our other episode of Focus on This Week, your weekly program that brings you different current and dominating topics so as to influence positive change within Tanzania and Africa and in the world at large. Leading the program, as always, I'm your host, Ismael, and of course we'll be together from the beginning till the end of this program. On this episode, we are discussing about the blue economy and its contribution towards reaching the DIRA 2050. When many people think about Tanzania's economy, they often picture agriculture, mining or tourism. Yet beneath the surface of our lakes, rivers and the Indian Ocean, there lies another powerful engine of the economic transformation, and that is the blue economy. For generations, Tanzania's oceans, lakes and marine resources have sustained millions of livelihoods. Fishermen have ventured into the waters every morning. Women have processed and traded fish in local markets, while coastal communities have depended on the sea for their survival. Today, however, the blue economy is no longer viewed simply as fishing. It has become a strategic pillar for economic growth, employment, food security, scientific innovation, and environmental sustainability. And as Tanzania pursues the ambitions of the Vision 2050, our country aims to build a competitive, resilient and inclusive economy that is capable of delivering a high-quality life for all the citizens. Achieving that vision will require every productive sector to contribute, and the blue economy has emerged as one of the sectors with enormous untapped potential. From sustainable fisheries and aquaculture to marine biotechnology, seaweed farming, maritime transport, ocean research, fish processing, tourism and value addition, the opportunities are vast. But turning these opportunities into lasting prosperity will depend on scientific research, modern technology, responsible resource management and active participation of every Tanzanian. How can one fisherman contribute to a $1 trillion economy? How can research improve the incomes while protecting fish stock for future generations? And what role do women, youth, and the media play in ensuring that the blue economy becomes a reality for all? Stay with me to understand about this blue economy and its contribution towards reaching the DIRA 2050. I am Caroline Maleo. Stay with me. And to dive deeper on the blue economy in relation to the Vision 2050, here at the studio we are joined with three different guests. The first one is Dr. Ismael Kimirei, who is the Director General of Tanzania Fisheries Research Institute. Welcome to Focus on This Week.
Asante sana.
We are also joined with Dr. Happy Peter, who is the Senior Research Officer, also from Tafiri. Welcome to Focus on This
Thank
Week.
you very much, Caroline.
We are as well joined with Betty Masanja, who is the founder of Blue Economy Association of Journalists in Tanzania Budget Climate Changes. Welcome to Focus on This Week as well.
My appreciation.
What an honor to have you.
Thank you very much.
We are going to start with the only gentleman in the room. Dr. You shouldn't be. So, Dr. Ismael, can you kindly tell us, many Tanzanians actually associate the blue economy with fishing alone. But what exactly is this blue economy, and why has it become one of the strategic sectors towards achieving Vision 2050? Kindly give us the knowledge on that.
Thank you. I hope I will quench your thirst, but if not, then I will refer you to some reading.
I look forward for my quench to be.
So, blue economy in the world context is the ocean economy. So it's fisheries, it's maritime, it's ocean tourism, it's coastal tourism, it's all the sectors that is shipping, is all the maritime, even ports and the logistics in the maritime arena is blue economy. But in the African Union context, blue economy doesn't only stops where the ocean ends. So it also includes lakes, rivers, and the economic activities that are accrued from, and the benefit, of course, that are accrued from those waters. That is blue economy in a nutshell. And but sometimes people set it aside as a fisheries a fisheries issue, but it is as wide as I just said it. Now, why does it make a strategic issue for the DIRA 2050? It's because it's among the 9 key priority transformational sectors. And so the Tanzania Vision 2050 identifies blue economy as one of those key areas or key sectors that will transform Tanzania towards a $1 trillion trillion dollar economy.
We'll get back to that.
Yes.
Dr. Ismael, so
yes.
that you can explain more on the blue economy in relation to the Vision 2050. Let me go to Betty. Can you kindly tell us as well, what is this blue economy? And as Dr. Ismael explained, that most people, associate it with fisheries. They don't know that it is more than fisheries. It goes to maritime, it goes to coastal, to the ports, as you explained. Why is that the case? As a journalist from your association, what have you found out is the reason that most people associate it with just fisheries?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's very unfortunate that people relate the blue economy with, in the majorities, think that it's only about fishing and the related fishing activities. However, the blue economy, as Dr. Ismael has said, is very wide. Includes the transportation sector, the marine transportation, like when you see the speedboats of Azam, that is the blue economy, because they transport people and the luggages. But not only that, in the ship, he mentioned the port. In the shipping sector, when the ship come from abroad at the port there, when they have some consignments, they need services within the ship itself and outside the ship. For example, when the ship arrive at the port, because they had been traveling maybe for 1 month or etc., they need to be cleaned. That is an opportunity for Tanzanians to grab there. And they need to load off or to empty the tanks with the dirty stuff. But they also need to refuel. So that is another window of an opportunity. But not only that, they need to eat. So people can sell some food stuff, cook for them. That is another opportunity. So it is very important for people to not only close themselves into the fishing only, because there are other opportunities. Not only that, there are even the divers, in the tourism sector. He mentioned about the tourism ecosystem. When people people are used to just swimming, but there's diving, there is a aquaculture where people farm like the seaweed, and there's, I hope you know they are called cucumbers, sea cucumbers. The sea cucumbers also is a farming which the sea cucumbers are very expensively sold worldwide. So that's another opportunity for people to target on. Because in the fishing sector, I know the majorities, there are so many people right now. So let us also look at other opportunities. So all that, those, as I mentioned, they are all within the blue economy. And not only that, people are already practicing the blue economy without knowing. For example, people who sell sand from the rivers and from the sea. Because within the sea also there's exploration of gas and oil. That is also a blue economy. So it ranges across various activities. Yeah.
You explained the opportunities that now we have already maybe began tapping them from the blue economy. But do you think, let me go to Dr. Happy, do you think that we have really tapped into the opportunities enough as a country that are coming from this blue economy?
Okay, thank you, Caroline. Tanzania is one of the countries that has been blessed with the water bodies from the ocean, from the lake, as my director here said. And from the research perspective, if we not manage those resources, we cannot get what we're supposed to get as on the part of the blue economy. So having the proper information from the research perspective, we can know how to manage those resources. The resources can be there, but if not managed well, it cannot create jobs, it cannot create opportunities, it cannot even create food to the community that are depending on that. At the same time, the export cannot be get from these resources. So the research on the perspective or research on this side has to be done so that you can get proper information out of that to be able to manage the resources. So it can be of importance if it's well managed, and then having proper information also to be able to get back or give back that to the community that are depending on those resources. Yeah.
So, Dr. Happy has clearly explained that if we're not well managing these opportunities that are coming from blue economy, we may not be able to tap into these benefits that are coming from this kind of economy. Let me go to Dr. Ismael. Dr. Ismael, we will relate it with now the achievement of the DIRA 2050. You clearly explained earlier on that amongst the priority sectors, the blue economy is one of the sectors. And Dr. Happy here explained that if we do not manage well this blue economy, we will not be able to achieve the outcomes. Now, how do we ensure that if blue economy is a part of the sectors that are expected to, put forward this $1 trillion economy, that we are able to achieve it and it is well managed? Kindly take us through that.
Thank you. It's always, sometimes people think of the resources we have as for protection only, for management only. I think the best term we should be using is sustainable use. If you do sustainable use, then we are sure that the blue economy sectors will contribute, as you just mentioned here, towards 2050 and achieving the goals. So, as I said earlier, it's not just only fishing, it's not only maritime transport and the sectors are involved, it's not only gas and marine energy, or the offshore energy, gas and prospecting, as Madam Masanja here said. And so once we understand that the resources we have, some are finite, some are renewable. Once we understand that these are resources that we need to sustainably use so that we can use it today and the generations to come, we'll also find that we still have the tunas, the sharks and rays, the whale sharks in Mafia, and they can enjoy the tourism, then I believe we will have achieved the goals. But in order, again, to tap into the blue economy sectors, to make sure that they make the intended impact towards 2050, you will understand that the government currently is actually they have already tested the instrument, the equipment at the Kilwa fishing harbor. That's one of those. I may not be speaking for other people, but I know that there are several other development projects towards tapping the blue economy sector in transport, in fishing, in energy. You know, the LNG project down south in Kilwa and Lindi, that is all part of the blue economy that we would like to see contribute a lion's share towards 2050. I'm not sure I have answered your question.
Yeah, indeed, and I got another question.
Yeah.
You were explaining maybe what has already been began to be done by the government and more. But I'm curious, you're from this Research Institute. When you maybe do research on maybe the small fishermen, you know, I actually attended last week the launch of this system, yes, tunfish, yes, and they were saying that, you know, before fishermen were not being able to, you know, to get fishes, and then there were more technology that enabled them to get fishes, and then when they got fishes, now they were having a problem of getting market, and now there is this you know, system that is connecting them to be able to access the market. What do the fishermen say? How is their situation? Is it conducive that they are able to be part, you know, to achieve this dream? What is the experience now from, as a person from the Research Institute?
Thank you very much. I will tackle the question from one angle, and I believe Dr. Happy, who is at the center of all this transformation, and of course the team that is working on this will chip in. But the Tanzania Fisheries Research Institute, as a research institution, tasked with the mandate to advise the government, to advise the users of the resources from the fisheries, saw a problem. And I can send it back almost to 2011, when we started experimenting, researching on how to help this government transit from paper-based data collection towards electronic system. After managing that, then we thought the fishers, especially those in the marine environment, in the coastal environment, we are spending too much time looking for fish. That's one. But also, they are remaining within a narrow band of the coastline because they cannot go beyond those waters. And you see, fishing is like hunting. If you go to Seru, for example, you will need binoculars and all this. You will need a shotgun, if not a rifle, to get a kudu antelope. If you go to the marine environment, you will be actually doing the same. You throw in your hook and line, you don't know what you are catching. But if you knew that if I go north certain nautical miles and go south or north-south certain nautical miles, I will land in this big pool of fish. And so the Institute then decided to experiment this. And after so many years, we could now determine with almost 80% precision of the areas where someone can go and fish. And after that,
that's great.
Yes, and after that, we decided then to develop this so that fishermen from, for example, let's say Kigamboni wants to go fishing, they will send a message to our system saying, I'm at Kigamboni, I want to go fishing, maybe certain kilometers from here, please help.
And how many fishermen have maybe benefited from the system?
I will let Happy answer this because she may have the update information.
Okay.
And so once you do that, our algorithm will do the maths behind the computers, behind the CPU, and then give you the location that then you can go fishing. And then the side where you have to do the market, I believe she can help you do that. So as the research institution for us, we managed to do that, and we got this technology to the people. They are using it. We started, I think, around 100 people that we started with. The numbers she can provide, and then things took off from there. The system that you saw the other day being launched, I think, was limited for Lake Tanganyika before, but I think I will let Dr. Happy now add on what I said as pertains to this. Yes.
Welcome. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Caroline.
How many fishermen have benefited so far? with this system, because we understand that it actually plays a crucial role in developing the blue economy, and this blue economy is one of the sectors towards reaching Vision 2050. Now, give us.
I don't want to take you back from the history of how it came up, because based on the time, and just I want to focus on the question itself. It has been a process up to come to this venture that we're having an application that fishers can use that application as a platform where they can be able to request the coordinate, the actual coordinate of where they're supposed to go fishing in relation to the landing station that they are based. As the director have already said, it has a precision of 75 to 80% that the fishers are assured that they will get fish in those locations that they'll be getting. At the beginning, fishers, or historically, fishers are just going fishing as hunting, right? And then the way they are doing the fishing, for instance, if they get fish at a point today, they will go on the same spot for 3 times, 4 times, until that catch has been decline. That's when they started now looking for another spot. And then when they get a lot of money from this spot that they ventured on today's fishing, that money will be depleted by just looking around for the next spot. So by trying to help the fishers, not getting the up and down, 0 to 100 to 1,000, that's when we came up with an idea of having this an application, but after having several tests on that, like the fisheries that they are catching is related to the satellite technology that the information we are getting. The app itself depends on works on the satellite information. And then from the satellite information, we get the algorithm of temperatures. So the places in the ocean that will have an abrupt shift in the temperature, and then that situation, if it stays for 3 to 7 days, that's when the environment now started to create the condition that will attract the very small microscopic organism, we call them phytoplanktons, and then the zooplankton will go there. So it's all the food chain will concentrate on those places. So those are the places that we get the coordinates, and then we give them to the fishers.
Before you go on, Dr. Happy,
yes,
I'm curious, what about the fishermen from the villages? How do they, maybe the ones who don't have access maybe to smartphones, can they be able to access the system?
At the moment, we were looking forward to look on the so-called USSD, that when you can use star 100, star 00, and then you can go straight and get those coordinates. So it's not necessary to have the smartphone. But sometimes when we talk about the fishermen, we have the perception like the fishers, they are not that equipped. But you'll be surprised when we go there at the fishing grounds. Because if a fisherman is having a GPS, for instance, the smartphone at the moment, the government has given us the opportunity, even you can loan a phone. They are very cheap at the moment. At the beginning when we started this project, it was something that you have to consider, like the fishermen are going to afford the phone. But at the moment, when we go at the landing station, be surprised. The fishers are having those smartphones. But still, we're coming up with an opportunity that even if you are using those not smartphone, they can be able to use the applications.
Maybe for a fisherman who is not being able to use those smartphones,
yes,
when should they expect that maybe my grandfather in the village who is not being able to access this smartphone can be able to access the system via the
USSD system? Yes. Yeah, it's in the process. I think I can lead that because the director also can talk about it. We are on MOU with a very big company, with a mobile company, so we go that far. It's on the process. We are still on the MOU stage, but still the same application. After a fisherman has received the coordinates of where to go fishing, that's when the question that came, as you asked the DG here, like the market of what they caught. For instance, if they catch a lot of fish, meaning that at the landing station, the price will go down, right? But from the same system, the fishermen can post their catches. So they can be connected to the market outside the landing station that they are landing their fish. For instance, even the people, at the moment that we know that the purchasing power has moved, for instance, in Dodoma, so the people who are having the pocket loaded, they are more in the Dodoma. But still, they were even in Dar es Salaam. They might need the marine fishes. But through the application, they can be able also to see the fish that have been posted. From the application, we as buyer or the end user, without registering on that application, you can go straight to the market. And then you can see the fish that has been posted. And the number, the phone number of the person who has posted, plus the price of the what has posted.
Indeed, this shows a green light.
Yes.
We'll get back to that application.
Yes. Thank
It's like
you.
we have forgotten Mama Betty Masanja. Let me go to her.
Yeah.
Learning a lot.
I wish I could
What
talk
is the
and talk.
role of the media in this? Is the media currently playing an effective role in, producing programs or reporting news related to the blue economy? What is the role of the media in this?
First of all, as you know, the core functions of the media is to inform, educate, and entertain. How far has the media sector played its role with regard to the blue economy? I can say it is good and bad, especially in the mainland. This is largely because there's still a misconception that the blue economy is a Zanzibar-owned sector, not in Tanzania mainland.
I've heard so many people
Yes,
saying that.
that is a misconception which we are fighting for. We are fighting against it because the blue economy is not only based in Zanzibar. As per the definition of what is the blue economy, it's wherever there's a water body, whether it's a river, a dam, a pond. It's an activity related to the blue economy activities. That is, includes the activities which are done within water bodies. But there are other blue economy activities which are done outside the water bodies when it comes to the value addition. When, for example, the fishermongers bring the fish at the station, there are those women and men and the youth who take the fish or sardines for cleaning. There are those who just clean. But there are those who buy for frying to add the products, the produce, they add value by either frying or drying. So all those activities have been rarely or in a little amount of reportage. So, but as time goes on, we are starting now to emphasize reporting of the blue economy, as we are doing, for example. This is the campaign for the blue economy through the media channel. But not only that, we have established an association. This is why I'm the chairperson for that, for the blue economy journalists. So our focus is to ensure that we'll be reporting, ensuring that at least on a weekly basis, if not on a daily basis, to ensure that we are reporting something about the blue economy. For example, you have heard this good news from the doctors here for the fishmongers, which we didn't know. Most of us, especially myself, I can declare that I didn't know this, despite the fact that I'm the chairperson. And this is because our association is still at an infant stage. But it doesn't mean that we are stopping there. So we have started, and despite the fact that there are some few stories of the blue economy, and like the the system from the University of Dar es Salaam, Tanfish, I hope it had been reported. So we are reporting. We are not reporting as much as we are doing, but we are improving. So I believe in 2 years to come, even in the mainland, people will understand that the blue economy is not owned by the Zanzibars, the Tanzania Zanzibar only, but it cutters across even where the communities are not nearby the water bodies, because if they are using dams, those are man-made sources of water.
Yeah.
So or if they are using ponds. So that as people get sufficient knowledge, I believe most Tanzanians will grab many opportunities within the blue sector, the blue economy sector. And the other sectors which I mentioned, like those who sell fuel, they can go to the ports, sell fuel, sell food, clean the ship. Of course, I think maybe the government might introduce in the tenders, of course, those ones, in order for the private sector to, because those will be activities for the private sector. So the private sector should wake up and chase those opportunities. Yeah, like at the moment, you know, the Azam company has showed the way. We need more people to go into the blue economy, and we as the media people, we are supporting them and we are encouraging them by reporting as many stories as possible. But not only, our association will be, I think, an exclusive association, because we are going to be the doers as well, in order to show people how, and for example, how the blue economy play its role towards the Vision 2050. For example, there are people who don't know the sea moss or the seaweeds. So we have some farms whereby we'll be training them how to choose the correct species, in order, because not every species is conducive to any part of the water body. For example, the seaweeds, that's why they're called seaweeds or sea moss. You can't plant or you cannot farm within the river or cold water. They're called cold water. It should be farmed within the salt water, which means is the sea water. Likewise, for the sea cucumbers. The sea cucumbers also must be farmed within the salted water, not in the cold water. But from the areas where they don't have the sea water, they have cold water. Cold water is from the rivers, the dams, the ponds. They can do tilapia fishing through the dams at a home or at a place, wherever place which is convenient, where they can even, nowadays there's a technology. I hope the doctors are going to help us to have ponds even where there are no reliable rainfall seasons or water bodies because of the ponds.
Thank you so much,
My pleasure.
Mama Betty, for the explanations that you have provided. We'll get back to you. I really wish to know, are those journalists who are involved in the association now to spread, the word of blue economy, are they just specializing on the blue economy, or are they reporting other news as well? Because we understand it is very important that, the public gets sufficient knowledge on the blue economy. We'll get back to you with that question. Let me go to Dr. Ismael. Can you kindly tell us, the individual fisherman and individual Tanzanian is sitting somewhere and, imagining how can they play part in this blue economy and being a part towards helping the nation achieve Vision 2050 in supporting the blue economy? Or they're like, these are just issues of policymakers.
Yes.
The people in the power, the researchers like yourself.
Thank you. But before I jump on that question, there was a question you asked on the numbers.
Oh yeah, it wasn't us.
Yes, I wish she will get to that. But the last time I checked, maybe she has new numbers. The last time I checked, there were around 900 people subscribed to the system that we are operating, and more than 1,000 or so, or I can't remember, that were also pinging the system, requesting for areas to go fishing. But she will come back to this. I believe she has the numbers.
Definitely.
This is a very long time ago when I checked. I think it was in February or around there. So I think blue economy is for everyone. Whether you are seated in Chita in Ifakara, or you are higher up in the mountains in Arumeru, in Arusha, or you are south in Iringa or whatever. What you need is two things. Maybe the most important things, two things. You need water, you need a place to farm your fish, for example. In pond fishery, in pond aquaculture, you need water. Water can be obtained in many ways. Either there is a river passing by, or you drill a borehole. I have seen places where they are using borehole water for fish farming. But I have seen people who have, of course you have to do this in collaboration with the water basin boards to draw water from rivers where there is insufficient water to get it to your place. You can dig canals to get water there and you can farm.
A person may say that requires a lot of money.
Yes, but you see, this money thing is
Destroying people's money.
You see, the first is the interest. You need to have the interest. Wanasema penye nia pana njia, si ndio? Where there is there is a way, you can find a way. I remember back in the days when I was very young, we used to dig roads for the villages. But today people are waiting for an excavator and Tarura to come and help to make the road. But we used to do this before then. Why can't we use the same Ujamaa model to dig trenches, to help, you help one villager today and next you help the other? I think it is possible. But not only that, people can invest in the value chain. For example, in the fisheries, you have people who are mending nets, okay? People who are making boats, people who are going fishing, people who are collecting the fish from fishers to process and then to get them to the market. But somewhere along this value chain, there's a lot of wastage. There is someone who can invest in a cold chain facility. You put your containers here, people coming from fishing, they will bring their fish in your containers to cool them down, wait for a better market, and then you can sell them. Or there are people who will build storage facilities. That is all part of the bigger picture. I can assure you, Caroline, that no one wants to see fish being caught in masses and then getting lost before they get to your table. And for people to be able to make sure that this fish gets to as many people at their tables, then we need to invest in all this value chain. And this doesn't need everyone to go fishing. You can even yourself, Caroline, have your own storage facility, which is certified by the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries. You can have your own facility that provides ice and all the cold facilities for the people that can store the products. You can have a processing facility, you know. So it is all of us working together to get 2050 in colors.
When you were speaking, two questions clicked in my mind. Speak to the young people who think that, you know, fishing is not for us, it's for those people who are not educated, who are, you know, older men and women, it's not for us. One, and then also kindly tell us the untapped investment opportunities that are there in the you know, blue economy sector or in the fisheries sector. We understand that we have received a number of presidents in Tanzania, including recently President El-Sisi of the Arab Republic of Egypt. We've had President Ruto addressing the 13th Parliament, and so many other presidents, and also our President Dr. Samia went to Russia. So these investors who are coming, what investment opportunities maybe in the fishing sector that is there for them, to tap into that opportunity and invest in Tanzania?
So you said first I should speak to the
young people.
The young
that
people.
Fishing sector is not for old people or the uneducated masses.
I think they are wrong. And this is where they need to wake up. I think the most and the easiest way of getting wealthy is through the fisheries sector, especially in aquaculture. That's one. I will give you an example of the program, the Mama Samia's BBT program, which provided cages for young youths and women in Mwanza back in 2024, I believe it was in June or around there. And those people are now swimming in riches because their first harvest, I can cite one example of a group that after they have harvested, remember this was a concession loan, which has almost zero interest. And then these people saw that they were supposed to return the loan. And the money they got were more than enough, to return the loan. And they went back saying, no, we are done, we can return this. And then we said, no. This is to grow you. And growing you, you'll need the capital. If you get the capital out, then you are screwed, So they can invest in this. There are many opportunities for youths in the villages and in cities. It pains a lot that you see people who are from universities and middle stage colleges, and then they are just sitting around, going. I'm not against betting, but they are in betting, wasting money, and actually going as far as engaging in illegal criminal behavior. Just for what? While you could immediately go into the fishery sector and tap the potentials that are there. That's one. Two, now the investors. I told you earlier that the fishery sector has a very long value chain. And to be able to benefit from the sector itself, you need people along this value chain. There are many people who are making a lot of money, for example, in the agriculture sector, who are not farming, who are not processing, but they only have those storage facilities, only. And that is what these people are getting money from. Why can't us in the fisheries sector, why can't all the youths, all the women, or the people with means invest in storage facility? If you go to Kilwa, there was a problem with the storage of seaweed, for example, and people were getting very low prices. Why? Because they have no facilities to keep the seaweed as long as it can to get the money. Of course, the government has now come in. They are now investing in TMX, the online auctioning and stuff, but they need storage facilities. And what if people come and invest in storage facilities? In the fisheries itself, go to the octopus fishery, for example. When they open the reefs, there is a lot of octopus, and a lot of this is wasted, sold at very minimum prices. Why should that happen? Because they don't have the facilities to keep the octopuses in safe and cold conditions. So there are many ways to invest in Tanzania in the fisheries sector. You can invest in the deep sea fishing. You need to register vessels here. You need to, of course, that's one, but invest in the cage fishery. If you go in the marine environment, maybe I should cite one figure that we need to know. If you calculate the total area of Tanzania, about, I think, 9,000 or whatever square kilometers. If you include the amount of water we have, that is almost 37%. 37% of water is Tanzania. If we use it correctly, if we use it appropriately, if we tap all the potentials it has, I can tell you, I don't want to brag. Yes, I don't want to brag, but 2050 is just around the door.
Indeed,
Yeah.
it's true. That 2050 is indeed around the door.
Yeah.
But a young person may say, you know, I don't have loan to do that. Let me just go to Dr. Happy and leave that conversation there. Dr. Happy, kindly give us the figures as we are about to complete the program, and then also tell us what practical steps now can fishermen take to be able, you know, to tap into this opportunity in the blue economy, be more productive, and also, you know, protect fish resources in the sea or in the water sources as they're, you know, fishing.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. I think you're insisting on getting the number. Sometimes the number are tangible, right? As the director here said at the beginning, that when it was launched, because the application was launched last year in April, but the process, the research has been for more than 8 to 10 years, I can say. But it was launched to be used now by the community last year on April. And then the subscription at the moment, we are on 1,500 plus. And then the request is almost 2,000 plus. And then from this awareness and then conference that we are doing, we have got also the interest from the other countries. Because we are normally saying that fish has no border. So if we don't manage or we don't utilize, for instance, this application is favorable for the pelagic fishes, the fish that move in schools, like tunas. So when they are not caught in Mozambique, we can catch them here in Tanzania. Otherwise, it can go to Somalia and other places. So when having this kind of an application that I was trying to tell you, it will be easier for them, the fishermen, to utilize that fishery also. And for Mozambique also, they have shown an interest, and last week we had the delegates from the Minister of their Fisheries trying to give them the inside out of the application itself, and then not necessarily the PFZ, because they have not even mentioned the name of the application itself. It's a PFZ, Potential Fishing Zone, but AKA vua, uza, nunua na oda samaki kidijitali. Narudia, vua, uza, oda na nunua samaki kidijitali. Sawa? Then from that application, now the Mozambique also, they were interested in that application because they also have the same challenges like us. It's a regional challenges, like in the management or the use of the resources. The Comoros, the Mauritius, and Namibia. Also, you can remember the other time the excellence from the Namibia were here also. And then from this different kind of consortium or grouping together of the regional conferences, we present this kind of our findings, and then have more of interest. So it's not necessarily the number who have been subscribed, but also the institute and the government itself being known, or how the people are benefiting from the resources is interesting also to the other part of our countries. Okay, but when the G was responding to a question, like the youngster and those kind of things, I remember there was one meeting that we had the other time, and then the same question came, like the youngster, why are not venturing to the fisheries itself? And then I used this funny word, like we should put the swag in the fisheries. Because most of the time, it's the pictures that are being posted. I'm coming back to Betty now, like the journalist. You should try to put the good image of the fisheries, not the posters with the old man, or the posters with the fishermen who's just dripping with waters from there. They are ladies, or they are girls, or they are youngsters who are in the fisheries itself, or in the, what I can say, the seaweed farming, and then they are having we call it like a seaweed cave. You go there, have your drink of juice made from the seaweed. So you have to put the swag so that you can capture the Gen Z people to get into the economy, to get into the fishery economy itself. Put the swag. Like I bet I should take that swag in the fisheries. Yes. And then another thing that he was trying to insist, like the storage facilities. It can be expensive at the beginning, but as I've tried to explain to you, or to give you the information on the PFZ, like the fishermen can get direct to the market, but they can be only at the local market, like you and me. But when you want to get the international or the hotel, the one who are having the facilities at the landing stations will be registered into our system and then be able to collect the fish from the fishers. So the fishers will have the collection facility there from you as youngster. You can just invest in there. That's the room that youngster can go there, or the investor that can go there. And then to the question that you asked on shortly, like the fishers themselves now, they should practice the proper fishing methodology so that they can keep the resources, not necessarily for them, but for the future generation that are going also to use the same resources. We found it, the resources, we are using it now, then we should manage it so that the other generation can also benefit out of that system.
Yeah. They should protect the marine resources for the future generation. Now let me go to Betty as you conclude as the last speaker. Kindly give us the response.
Okay, first of all, before I respond to the question which you had posed to me, about the people, the youth, how they can benefit without fishing, without touching the water, there are these called BMUs, beach management units. They can manage the beaches by keeping them clean through the conservation, by planting the mangrove trees, by making it, give the swaggy at the beach, as I'm borrowing the word from Doctor. They can do swaggies along the beaches, and they can make money. They can plant flowers. They can do cultural activities like they do in Bagamoyo, and they can make money, a lot of money. When the tourists come, they can enjoy or have shelters for resting, you see. That's one of the opportunities. But not only that, for the government, about the storage stuff, now that the government has the political will of us chipping in the blue economy as a whole, but as an example of the fishing, as far as the the speakers have spoken about the storage, they can provide soft loans. There's a facility which is called financial leasing. Instead of giving the traditional loans, of giving the cash, hard cash, to the people so that they can buy stuff, they can give loans of those storages so that they pay slowly. They enter a tripartite arrangement, the government, the consumer, and the manufacturers. So maybe they put, in order to keep an ownership, maybe the users can pay maybe down payment, maybe 20% of the total price of the equipment. And then they start using. While they're making profit, they pay slowly, slowly, slowly. When they complete the payment, those storage facilities become theirs. So if the government has started giving the cages in Mwanza, they can try this as well. But the Tafiri can be the leader. For that, I wanted to add on those 2 points. Now, in response to my question that are these journalists going to just focus or concentrate on reporting about the blue economy activities only, or they'll be doing others? Yes, they are not going to concentrate only on the blue economy, but if they want to dwell into speciality, they won't get any time to cover other stories, because as you heard, the blue economy is as wide as the football pitch. So if really we want to cover stories about the blue economy sector, there are a lot and plenty of time. In such a way, it's not very easy to get time to have other stories, despite the fact that journalists and media communicators, or the mass communicators, don't only just put their efforts in one window, but we want to bring this new tradition that people have to focus on a certain area in order to have specialties. Like these doctors, I think, ask them anything about fish. You see, you ask them even at the midnight, they have everything at the fingertips. Yeah. So we need also to introduce this specialization of reporting. So there will be people who will be reporting about the ship, fishing, transportation, drowning prevention, which is one challenge in the health. Because, for example, the prevention of drowning is within the blue economy sector. Why? It's because, for example, I'll give you a very sad example. There are a lot of people lose their children, their babies, kids, who drown in the bucket with water, basins, or at the ponds in the streets, or in areas where people have some holes or whatever, they don't cover them, people die. Even our elders sometimes, they fall in the dams which are carelessly left. So the coverage about the blue economy, it doesn't have a limitation. It's so wide in such a way, if somebody becomes passionate and indeed will decide to focus on this sector, I don't think there will be any chance for other stories. Indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my guests. TBC1 viewers, I was with Dr. Ismael Kimirei, who is the DG of Tanzania Fisheries Research Institute. I was also with Dr. Happy Peter, who is the Senior Research Officer from TAFIRI as well, but we were also with Betty Masanja, who is the founder of Blue Economy Association of Journalists in Tanzania, Budget Climate. And actually, as you've heard from the program, indeed, the blue economy will play a crucial role towards achieving the DIRA 2050. Leading the program, I was your host, Caroline Maleo. On behalf of the whole team, bye-bye until next time.